we're going to enter data into the TI84 calculator, and we're going to sort it. So I've got this data list right here, 5, 3, 4, 1, 6, and 2, and I want to enter that into my calculator. In order to do that, we go to the Stat menu. So I'm going to start by hitting Stat, and Edit's already selected, which is exactly where we want to go. So I go ahead and hit Enter. I already have data in here, so the first thing I want to do is to clear this data. If I arrow up to the name, notice this bottom line has set braces and then all of the data values listed. So I can clear the list now. If I arrow down, I get a single data value. So I arrow up to the list name. I want to clear this, so I hit my clear button. Don't delete it. The entire list is gone if you do that. I want to just clear data. So I'm going to hit clear. Watch this bottom line. Everything goes away, but I have to hit enter to remove it from my list. So clear and enter. Let's do that to L2 also. So in my L2, I've got these values. If I arrow up to the L2 name, watch this bottom line. I've got set braces with all the data in it. So I'm ready to hit clear and then enter. I want to enter my data into L1 though. So I want to arrow over to the first empty data spot in L1. So down below it should say L1 and then parentheses 1. I'm ready to enter my data. I'm going to hit enter after each data value. So as I'm entering these, I'm going to go 5, enter, 3, enter, 4, enter, 1, enter, 6, enter, and 2, enter. So I've got my data values in here. There's a couple things I want to do with this. The most common one that you're going to use is one variable statistics. I'm going to run those with this calculator first. There are 2 versions of the one variable stats prompts. So I'm going to run it with my other calculator in just a second. In order to run this, which gives me my mean and my median, a minimum, maximum quartiles, all sorts of measures, I need to go back to the home screen. So I want to quit. So I'm going to hit second and then this mode button, which gives me quit. So second, quit. To run one variable stats, I go right back to the stat menu. So I hit stat, but I want to calculate now, so I'm going to arrow over to calc. One variable stats is what I choose, so I just hit enter. And it's asking me for the list. Well, I want L1. So I'm going to choose L1. If you look at the bottom of your keypad, L1, L2, and L3, and all the other lists are listed right above the numbers. Mine are in L1. In order to get the blue L1, I hit the second button, followed by L1. So now I've got one variable stats L1. I hit enter. And I've got lots of different data values. This arrow here tells me that I have even more if I arrow down. Okay, that's one version of the calculator. If you have the other version of the calculator, it might look a little different. I've already entered this data in. We can view it by going to Stat. Edit is where I view my lists, so I'll hit enter. And there they are, 5, 3, 4, 1, 6, 2. I need to leave this screen and go to the home screen, so I go to quit, so second, quit. And I'm going to go back to stat to run one variable statistics. So I go stat, calc. There's the same one variable stats. The prompts will be just a little bit different. It asks you for the list name. Mine are in L1. If my data wasn't in L1, I could choose L2 here by going second 2 for L2. But it wasn't, so let me arrow back over and go second 1 for L1. This frequency list should be blank. If you say had a 1 here, or maybe you had L2 here or something, just arrow over and hit clear. You want that to be blank. Now I hit calculate, and I get the same values that I had for the other version of the calculator. If I arrow down, arrow up, I've got all the same values. So that's one calculation we want to be able to do. Another one is we want to be able to sort our data. So I'm going to sort this data, and I'm going to sort it ascending, which would be smallest to lowest. This is really helpful if you've got a bunch of data values. Say you want to put them into a distribution list, a grouped frequency distribution list. Connect Math often gives you a lot of data values, and this is a great way to sort it. To sort your data, I'm going to go into not the stat menu, but the list menu instead. Remember that my data, here it is right up above, was not in order. So 5, 3, 4, 1, 6, 2. Let's put it in order. I'm going to go to the list menu. So I'm going to sort my list. So second, stat to get to list. I don't want my list names. I want an operation. So I arrow over to operation. I'm going to choose one. It's already highlighted. I hit enter, and I've got sort A, which is the function I want, and it's asking me for the list name. My data was in L1, so I'm going to go ahead and choose L1 from the bottom of my keypad, second L1. You don't need a parenthesis to close it, and then hit enter. All it says is done. The two versions of the calculator are identical on this one, so everyone's will look the same. I want to see that list. Remember, originally we had it in the order that was given. Let's check and see what happened to L1. I can view lists in stats. So I go to stats, edit is where I view my lists, and there they are, all the same data values, but now in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could also sort descending, but I think you'll find that this is a really helpful tool.